PokeRamble Podcast.
It's another week where we look at all the cool stuff that's been happening in the world of Pokemon. We've got merch, we've got discussions, and we've got debates. Join us as we talk about Elesa versus Volkner. Welcome to episode 19 of the PokeRamble Podcast. I'm your host Camille, and joined as always with me. Oh Jesus, I always get the part wrong. But it's the Battle Frontier brain himself, Amit. How's it going?
I'm good.
I don't know why I always fluff that bit.
That's all right. We made it.
Dear.
Episode 19. Hey, episode Rattata. Shout out to your Rattata fans in the chat.
Kratatata. Do you remember that old meme a few years ago?
The top 1% Rattata.
Oh, well, no. Well. But this is the top 1% Pokemon podcast out there.
Yeah, it is. Don't look that up.
In our minds, yeah. No, it's another week, and I thought we had the DLC out next week, but it's the week after, which is yeah. It's not over the weekend. It's the Thursday after this.
Yeah, no, we've
Friday
still got
for
another 11 days to wait. We'll get there.
Yeah. I'm just so ready for it. I think next week I'll start hatching some of the eggs I've kept in my boxes and start wonder trading them away. They're all like Isle of Armor Pokemon, so
oh, nice.
Yeah, just in preparation. I need to sort out my boxes again
Got
because
some Gibble to give out, yeah.
What?
Gibble.
Oh, Gibble. Oh no. So actually, you've just reminded me. I need to go hatch those as well in my other games. But I've got like Beast Ball Gibbles and sort of like Safari Ball Beldums and stuff like that, all in my games. So yeah, I need to go hatch those in those games. But I meant in terms of my boxes in Sword and Shield, I've got Isle of Armor Pokemon that I haven't got hatched out yet. So yeah, I might have to do a few Wonder Trade streams just to get them out there and get myself ready.
Nice.
Because
I was going to say, just before we move away too far from the episode number, this is also episode fly. This is going to be a fly episode.
HM? TM?
No, 19 is the index number in the game for the move fly.
Oh my god, you're going that far now.
Well, no, last week we did wing attack, right? Oh no, 2 weeks ago we did wing attack for Pidgeotto.
Oh dear. Dear Lord.
Got to be consistent.
Yeah, I guess, but then you just said we didn't do it last week, so... Or did we?
Last week.
I don't know. But hey, who knows? I mean, I think I wanted to ask you, how's it going in Let's Go? Because you're playing through that at the moment, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm having so much fun actually in Let's Go. It's been really. I didn't think I needed to play Kanto again.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought I'd done it.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, I'm really enjoying checking out all of the quality of the graphics are really nice. Hearing the Pokemon cries all the time are really cool. It's a really well done game. And if you haven't had a chance to play Let's Go Pikachu or Let's Play Eevee, Let's Go Eevee. I don't know why I said Let's Play. Let's Go Eevee or Let's Go Pikachu. It's well worth it. If you can find it cheap, pick it up. It's really good fun. The only thing I will say that's a little bugbear is catching Pokemon in that game.
Yeah.
Forget playing wirelessly on your TV for that. It's a pain in the bum. And for whatever reason, when I flick my Joy-Con, which is how you catch Pokemon in that game, you flick your Joy-Con to try and imitate throwing a Pokeball. It just doesn't care where I aim. Sometimes it will just throw it to the right or to the left, and I can just do the same motion multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
So forget playing on the TV for that bit. But then as soon as I'm done catching stuff, back on the TV, it looks great. It's really good. And I'm up to Peter Jim, so I will be taking on the lovely Brock and his team hopefully this evening. I think Sophie and I'll sit down and play it together this evening.
Yeah, because you can have 2 player in that game as well.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite thing. Is it's finally a cooperative Pokemon experience, and
yeah.
It's obviously not like a true co-op experience where she gets to have an independent adventure and she gets to do all her own stuff. But it's enough that we can play. Actually, what's really nice is she can drop in and out. I'm not waiting for her to do what she needs to do. So if she wants to drop in, she can come play with me, and then I can carry on my own. So that's really cool. And it has made me think. I can see in the chat they're talking about Let's Go Silver or Gold. So I guess whatever the mascots will be for those games. There's lots of rumors going around about it, being a thing. We talked, I think, a couple of weeks ago that Nintendo registered a brand new trademark for, I want to say it was Entei, just out of the blue. They registered a brand new trademark for Entei. So there's lots of theories that we may be getting certainly Gen 2 remakes, probably if the Let's Go of Persuasion, but no, I'd be super up for it. Gen 2, we both said in the previous podcast, have been some of our favourite games. And certainly Gen 4 for me was
definitely the
phenomenal.
aesthetics of Gen 2 is probably my favourite part of that whole.
So I'm really looking forward to getting that.
I just wonder whether or not Let's Go Johto will include the Kanto region as well, like it did in the mainline game.
I don't think I'd be sad if it didn't. I don't think I'd be sad if it didn't. If they did Johto, they did it really well. I think that's all I need.
Talking about doing things well, should we get on to the first item of news?
Let's do it.
What's Pokemon going on? So this is the section where we talk about Pokemon Go. Not much to talk about. I do want to mention a couple of things. One is a shout out to Niantic for the way they handled Meowth Research Day. Essentially, you didn't have to spin any Pokestops. They give you like a list of 20 sort of big tasks to do, split down into 3 individual tasks. And it was sort of structured where you do 3 tasks, and then they give you a fresh page of new 3 tasks, and you keep doing it that way to get your Meowths, which is really good.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so you didn't have to move about. You could do it from the comfort of your own home. It took me about half an hour each, because I've got 2 accounts that I use. So yeah, half an hour each on each account to get the Meowths, and I managed to get 1 shiny Alolan Meowth out of like 120 encounters. Not too bad. Not too bad. We had World Cap Pikachu released in the game last Tuesday, and I managed to get a shiny one. Would you believe? I was well chuffed.
Oh, nice.
I was panicking like anything. I was playing Fall Guys with Vitz, and I was panicking, thinking I'm not going to get one. And lo and behold, half an hour later, I managed to get one. So I was quite pleased.
Congratulations.
But just on the Pikachu thing, next Tuesday, original Cap Pikachu is going to be back in the game. The shiny is available, and it'll be there for an hour, so it'll be till 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. local time. So yeah, you can bet your bottom dollar I'll be trying to catch a shiny version of that one too. Fingers crossed.
I might actually just reinstall Pokemon Go just to get that Pikachu.
Oh, dude, definitely.
Can you transfer it to Let's Go or only to Sword and Shield?
I don't know how caps sort of work with either.
I will look that up now and I'll get back to you.
Yeah, I don't know how they handle costumes. The other thing to say is Charmander Community Day is happening on Saturday. That will be from 11 till 5 local time. And yeah, it'll get a Dragon Breath as it's a fast move when it's involved into a Charizard. So make sure you've got some space available for all those Charmanders you'll be catching. The other interesting thing is it'll come with paid research, which essentially is like a dollar or a pound or 79p, where you get various things for it. So you get like an extra Charmander, and apparently you're going to get some Mega Energy as well for Mega Charizard. So that's pretty cool. That is it for the Pokemon Go stuff.
You sadly cannot transfer any costume Pokemon from Pokemon Go to any of the other mainstream games because it's not compatible with home. As it stands right now,
it makes sense just because of the assets they would have to make for the mainline games. I guess.
Of course. Yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't make it any less disappointing. At least we're getting Hatchus, which we'll talk about later. So you want to be a Pokemon Masters? This is the Pokemon Masters section. And first things first, we've got a new main story chapter. And we get a free new character who's Mullane, who's a Steel Striker. Any thoughts on Mullane?
Yeah, really surprised that he was a striker, but I'm so pleased that there's finally a freely available Steel type pair in the game that's not hidden behind a gacha. So there have been times, certainly earlier in the I think there was a Steel type training event when I first kind of got back into the game. There was just no Steel types available for me, so I just couldn't get my hands on one. So that's nice. I think we now have a type for or a story sync pair for every single type, so that's good. Certainly in that regard, it closes it off.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, and then it's Dark, isn't he? So yeah, you're right.
Yep.
So yeah, that's pretty cool. I don't want to talk too much about the story because I know not everyone's going to be there at the moment. But yeah, no, cool that we've got more main story chapters, and I hope they add more consistently in the future because it's been a long old wait since the last story event. So yeah,
Do we want to just give? Do we want to just comment on it spoiler free? What you thought of it?
It was all right. It was fine.
I thought it. You know, it's one of those things where every time I forget why I enjoy Pokemon Masters so much, enjoy Pokemon Masters so much, for me, that story is absolutely the kind of content that makes me really enjoy the game. It was really funny. There was, everything I wanted. Like there was interactions between characters you wouldn't normally see. There was some really funny dialogue. It was really nice.
It makes sense that those characters were interacting with each other as well, doesn't it? So.
Yeah, no, it came together really nice. I thought it was a well-written chapter. I won't spoil anything, but no, I really enjoyed it, and I hope you guys do
too. Next thing is, we've got a sync grid added for 6-star. We've got a sync grid added for Elesa, normal Elesa, and she's also eligible for 6-star treatment now. And I just wanted to speak about her briefly because. I think that she's possibly one of the best pairs we've had in a while with this update to her grid. And let's go through the grid. Have you got the grid in front of you at all?
I do, yeah.
Yeah. So she's got things like Stand Fast 5, which is basically reducing recoil. She's got First Aid 4. She's got Inertia. She's got Move Gauge refresh for Wild Charge. And then she's got like a move point refresh for electrifying as well. Now, for people that don't know, Elesa is one of these pairs where she's got a really powerful Pokemon in Zip Striker, lots of HP, but the only drawback is because of the move Wild Charge, it takes a lot of recoil, and so she's not sustainable enough to carry you through long battles. She's got stuff like electrifying that will heal her and give her like critical hit access, but it's just not enough for when you're in a long battle and you're consistently needing to do damage. So with this grid now, she's become a very viable electric striker alongside Hau. Maybe even better than Hau as well.
It's good because I forget sometimes that we really lack really strong physical sync pairs in Pokemon Masters. And actually, the likes of Iris and Karina are very, very strong, but just... the sync grid really complements Zeb Striker and gives Elesa a lot of longevity in battles where she just wouldn't have been able to hold her own before. So it's a really nice grid, really nicely balanced, and definitely makes her a very viable pair for those who are really keen to either get a 6-star or just use her a bit more than you have been.
I guess the big thing to talk about is the fact that she's got Inertia, which essentially powers up your sync move by a I want to find a different word for hell. By a heck of a lot. So yeah, we've had Inertia with Hau, and like using him for Champion Stadium, it's a game changer for some of those stages. So the fact she's got Inertia and now she's 6-star EX means that she'll be using a sync move with Inertia across the board. So like everything's getting knocked out at one go, which is amazing.
Yeah, I really like. Yeah, I mean, you're a massive fan of Inertia. You love it on Hau. You love it on Barry. It's a really, really good tile, and one worth picking up. I really like the sync grid. I can't compliment it enough. Really, I think it turns what was a very useless pair into a really, really predominant physical striker.
I think the only other time we used her was like in the beginning of the game with the EX stages when we used to have to use co-op. But since then, you haven't seen any sight of her. But now she's like, for me. Anyway, become one of the best strikers in the game when you've gridded her. And you only need like 2 out of 5 anyway. You don't need 3 out of 5 because you can get both Stand Fasts, you can get Inertia as well, you can get First Aid as well at 2 out of 5. So yeah, you don't really need to get 3 out of 5, but having 3 out of 5 is pretty useful in its own right as well with an extra sync node. I've sort of put my build up there if anyone wanted to look at it and see it. She does have Parasynergy at the bottom, which I actually think might be really good if you have someone like Volkner on the same team as well, where he can...
Yeah, or Meowstic. Meowstic does that role. Or actually Vileplume does that role really, really well.
He can paralyze people, and she can, use that and increase her damage, especially with 6-star, hitting every Pokemon across the field when you sync. So, yeah, pretty cool pair, I think. And obviously, on screen, you've got a 6-star costume as well, which looks really good. She looks like a Zeb Striker, which is the point of these. outfits. But yeah, that's it for Elesa, really. Anything you want to talk about, Elesa?
No, I think we said all we need to. Really good update.
Cool. And then next we'll talk about Volkner. So last week we didn't get to speak about him, but Volkner, Sync Pair, talk to me.
Yeah, it's a bit of a game changer. Electric Terrain is really, really useful to just give you, for the first time, apart from weather, a new way to bring teams together of the same type. So having an electric type team now really viable, and Volkner performs a number of different roles thanks to its very versatile sync grid. So if you want it to be tanky, you can do that. If you want it to be aggressive, you can do that. If you just want to set up support for the rest of the team, you can do that as well. It's really, really helpful. And I think the thing that really helps Volkner stand out is that there are some really predominant electric type sync pairs in the game. You've got Pikachu as a healer, you've got How as a striker, we talked about Elesa as well. You've got some really viable options. So if you wanted to take advantage of electric terrain and to make something really viable out of it, you can absolutely do that. And I think that's why Volkner stands out at the moment for being a really useful sync pair to work with.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about some of the moves he's got, or do you want me to do that?
Why don't you go for it?
So yeah, these are the moves he's got. So he's got Thunder Flang, which has the chance to flinch or paralyze the opponent. Obviously, he's got Electric Terrain, which is a move you can use to summon Electric Terrain and give like a boost of 30%, I believe it is, to all electric attacks. He's got a trainer move called Make Some Sparks, which raises the user's attack, ensures that your next attack is going to be a critical hit, and if there's electric terrain on the field, it raises the accuracy of all allied sync pairs, which is quite interesting. And then lastly, he's got Wild Charge, where it takes 20% of the damage it deals to the target. So there's that there. Its sync move is actually pretty unique in the fact that it does more damage depending on whether or not the pair you're attacking is paralyzed or not. And I guess where he really shines is the passives, where he's got Hostile Environment 4, which increases the chance of like things like Thunder Wave sort of hitting, or like paralysis affecting your opponent. And it's got Aggravation 4 as well, which also increases the chance of your opponent being flinched. So very, very good. And obviously, lastly, to say Terrify 1, which is not all that, which just lowers the attack of all opposing sync pairs on the field. So yeah, pretty nifty pair. I think for me, I wouldn't use him so much as a striker. I don't really think that's where he shines, especially since in his sort of sync grid, he's only got one Stand Fast 5. So in terms of survivability, he can't really heal himself. And he's going to be taking a lot more recall than someone like Elesa would. So I don't really think he's that much of a good sort of striker. But I do think he's better as a utility pair where you get your electric terrain up and you sort of use Thunderfang to paralyze opponents. So slow them down, make sure they're not hitting that often with sort of flinching with Thunderfang. And yeah, I think he's better as a sort of support unit than a striker unit.
Can you name the other sync pair whose sync move is powered up when the opponent is paralyzed?
Is it Jigglypuff?
It is not Jigglypuff.
Oh no, it's sleeping, isn't it?
It is, yes.
No, hit me.
It is Whitney and Miltank.
No, really?
Yeah, it's got Body Slam. It's got Body Slam. So, yeah, powers up sync moves when the opponent is paralyzed.
I can't wait to get the 6-star EX of Whitney.
Do you know what? I honestly was looking at Whitney and trying to work out why she isn't more viable. Because on paper, it looks really good. Like, you've got good flinch chance with Stomp, you've got Body Slam for paralysis, synergy through the sync move.
I guess it's just because it's normal type. It doesn't do anything.
I honestly think the normal type is the thing that holds it back. I think if it had a typing, it wouldn't be awful. Yeah. And I hope that when it gets a sync grid, it buffs its damage output, because I think it's actually an underrated tech pair.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's good by any means. It's minimum viable.
In terms of the sync grid for Volkner, what do you think of it? Because sort of how I've built this sync grid on screen is I've sort of gone from for Turbocharge 2, which basically makes your move gauge fill up faster during terrain. I've gone for the obvious terrain refresh because you want to have that up at all times. And I've gone for the Thunderfang move gauge refresh and First Aid 4, so he can survive longer on the field if he gets attacked. And also, you're going to be spamming Thunderfang a lot to flinch and paralyze your opponents. So that's why I've done that. You can remove the power-ups for Thunderfang to have Electro Repulsion, which reduces the damage he takes. That's a personal choice, whether or not you're going to be there for the long term or the short term in terms of the battle.
Yeah, I think if you can keep terrain up, then no, I think that's Volkner's primary focus, right? It's why you want to bring it into the team.
Yeah,
it's a really useful sync pair to have.
I'm not going to suggest anyone pulls for him because I don't think he's worth sort of pulling for him, especially with the rates at the moment. I'd probably just wait.
He'll also be available in the general pool as well at some point as well, so I wouldn't rush.
Yeah, but he would be really good in a team with Hal or Elesa, I think, with that electric terrain. Especially, we've said it so many times, 6-star EX Elesa is going to be attacking all sides of the field, so with inertia as well, it's just going to make her output insane amounts of damage. But Hal as well with the discharge spam, if you've got him set up for that, it's going to be great. So yeah, a very, very good pair that actually complements other pairs, but by itself, not that good, I don't think.
Can you imagine when Diantha shows up with Gardevoir, if it has access to Misty terrain? Because there's no viable fairy type pair other than now Clefairy. I think what it really highlights is just how good the electric pairs are
to
in
an
the game.
extent, but not hugely.
That's true. I forget Jigglypuff. I'm trying to think of easily accessible sync pairs available today.
Yeah.
Because you cannot get your hands on Jigglypuff anymore.
Yeah,
no one's bringing Valerie or Gramble, right?
I guess as well with Lily, I think she's one of the best support pairs alongside Blue, especially at 6-star EX.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with that.
Yeah, just because of her ability to debuff and heal at the same time. So yeah, no, that's it really for Volkner and Elesa. I guess I wanted to ask you, Volkner versus Elesa in general in the Pokemon universe, who are you going for?
I think in the Pokemon universe, I think I'm siding with Elesa. Purely on the fact that she is a pun queen.
Yeah, that's something we've learned in Pokemon Masters. For me, it was a difficult one because if we're talking about games, Elisa's what do you call it, Emolga. Oh, that gave me nightmares. Rocking up to a gym and thinking I've got this, and then I seen the Emolga, I'm like, oh yeah, I don't got this.
My favourite thing about that battle is that the game just hypes up that you need to bring a ground type to that gym.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, watch out, electric type gym leader, electric type, and then bring a ground type, and they give you Sandile and all these other ground types just before the gym. And then you rock up and she brings an electric flying type, and you're like, well, I'll come back later.
Yeah, exactly that. And like Volkner's team, for example, was a lot easier to come across because his standard, in Diamond and Pearl, he had a water type and another type, I can't remember what. But like Platinum, he just had electric types and they're all grounded, so it's just very easy to take care of him. Just keep earthquaking. So yeah.
Which at that point in the game, you're probably carrying a Garchomp.
Yeah, exactly. If you've evolved it, I guess. Because it does take a long time to get it all up to speed. I guess in terms of the anime, both of them are sort of in supportive roles. I mean, Volkner at that point was apathetic. He was going to go face the Elite Four and stop taking gym battles, and then Flint obviously introduced Ash to him, and then he decides to battle Ash. And I think for Elesa in the anime, she's the one that tells Bianca to follow her dreams, so that was pretty cool. And I think in terms of lore, Volkner actually grew up on the streets and then became this tech wizard that sort of revolutionized Sunny Shore City, so he gets points for that as well. In terms of fashion, both of them look pretty cool, and I guess Luxray as a partner Pokemon's pretty badass, so I don't know, I can't pick between the two, because if we're going by backstories I probably would side with Volkner, but I guess in terms of battles I'd probably go with Elesa.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And if you haven't seen the Black and White 2 promotional anime video, go watch that because Elisa's really cool in that. Really, really cool. But I think I'm going to side with Volkner on this one.
Fair enough.
But yeah, one more thing. Halloween's coming up. And who do you want to see as a Halloween sync pair? Because for me, I want to see Rayhan and I want to see Dragapult. Because why not?
I think he's the perfect Halloween character. He's got that air of like dark and creepy about him.
Yeah.
I love it.
intimidating as well, I think, at times.
Yeah.
So yeah, and well, look at the screenshot on screen. If that doesn't scream Dracula, what does, you know? So yeah, I'd like to see a Dragapult with Rayhan, especially since he's the Dragon Master. That's the sort of thinking behind that. Because I know Leon's got one, but he doesn't strike me as a sort of Halloween sort of pair, unless you made his cape into like Dracula's cape or some stuff. But yeah, who would you go for?
So there seem to be, I think, two obvious candidates for a Halloween sync pair.
Okay.
Which are, for me, Trevenant and Pumpkaboo, because you got to have a creepy tree and you've got to have a pumpkin.
Oh, of course.
And the grass type trainer that we're all missing is Mallow. So I want to see Mallow, and I would love to see either Pumpkaboo and Gorgeist or Phantump and Trevenant. Although shout out to Apple Bobbing and Appleton, because I feel like that needs to get a mention as well.
Oh dear. Imagine
all the good things at Halloween.
Getting one of those as your trick or treat. No, thank you. No,
have we talked about the fact that I hate Halloween, by the way?
We haven't, but what's your big gripe with it?
It's legalized blackmail.
We're moving on to the next section. Well, let's talk about the TCG, because it's easy as 1, 2, 3. And yes, I did mess up there, but I managed to mask it. But now I've exposed myself. Can
you sing it for me? I want to hear you sing it.
Oh, you mean the TCG? It's easy as 1, 2, 3, and then
okay, my week is complete now. Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, another set is coming out in Japan. It's called the Shiny Star V set. So I don't know if this is 5 or V because of VMAX and stuff like that. Looking at the image, it is probably because of VMAX and stuff like that. But guess how many shiny Pokemon this sort of set is going to contain?
It's over 100, isn't it?
Yes, 127 shiny Pokemon in this set, which is crazy. And I've got.
Is it getting a Western release as well?
I think it's going to be that one of those things where they usually just like mix up the sets in the West and sort of add some cards, not add some cards, that kind of thing.
I really hope that we get, because I don't think there are loads of shiny trading cards in Western releases. I'd love to get some of these. They look really cool.
They definitely back in 2016 they had one of those shiny sets as well, which I don't think we ever got in the West. But there's all sorts of shiny Pokemon that you can easily get in packets, which is unbelievable. But on screen, I've got 3 of the Pokemons you can expect to find in that set, which is a shiny Oranguru, a shiny Charizard, and a shiny Decidueye as well. I nearly forgot the name of that one. But yeah, all pretty dope cards. Especially that full art Charizard. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean, that card's going to be selling for a lot of money, right? Shiny full art Charizard, VMAX, that's going to be worth a lot.
And we're getting a shiny Charizard in one of the upcoming sets for the English one, so yeah.
No, it's good. We needed more Charizard cards this year. There haven't been enough. I talked about that last week, didn't I?
They have an article where they break down shiny Charizard, not shiny Charizard, but Charizard in the TCG compared to its compatriots, so other starters. And it's like night and day. I mean, Charizard's got like over 20.
It's like 100 to 1.
Yeah, it's crazy.
This year alone, I think it's had over 20 different prints between like, maybe it's 30 between like promos and, you know, full arts and VMAX and V and regular and oh my gosh.
Yeah. No,
other Pokemon do exist, and it is okay to celebrate them too. Just putting it out there.
I don't know, for my money, I think Charizard's the best.
Of course you do.
But yeah, that's it for the TCG news.
Dude, how many Totodile cards are there?
Huh?
How many Totodile cards are there?
What cards?
Totodiles.
Totodile card. Oh, I have no idea.
Your boy needs some artwork.
Do you know what he does?
It's true.
And your boy over here needs some packets of Pokemon TCG, so if anyone wants to buy them for me, that'd be much appreciated. But
do you know, here's an additional fact for you. There are the same number of episodes containing Porygon as there are trading cards containing Alakazam.
Ignoring him and going to the next section. This is a section we like to call Merch to Do About Nothing. Yes, that is a pun on Shakespeare. So yeah, this is a segment of the show where we just talk about, you know, upcoming merch to do with Pokemon. First things first. We've got 2 really cool things. The first is Pokemon Scale World Galar Gym Battle Setup. And it's up for pre-order at the moment, coming in March 2021. You get Victor and Gloria, which are the names of the protagonists. and you've got Squovit, Gossifleur, Roly-Poly, and Impidimp as well coming with it. These are scaled at 120, 1 out of 20.
Yeah, 1 to 20.
1 to 20. There you go. That's the terminology for it. So yeah, they look really cool. I think they're around 20 to 25 pounds for it. Which,
Pokemon Scale World is one of my favorite like figurine sets for Pokemon. I think ever.
I'm half tempted. I was going to say to jump in at that point.
If you've never seen them, at least go and look up the other ones because they're just really well done figurines. They're really well designed. They're really realistic, and they're obviously all to scale as well. What more do you want?
If there's a Rayhan one, I'm probably going to get it. To be honest with you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is he your favorite character from Gen 8?
I think he might be. Yeah. It's just refreshing to have a guy that sort of has got a lot of self-confidence, you know, and actually, in terms, I think his battle in Sword and Shield is probably the most memorable one, just because I wasn't expecting him to sort of promote 2v2 and actually not only promote it, but actually have all sorts of different tactics to go with it as well.
Yeah, to have actual double battle strategies for a change.
Yeah, so and I guess he's not only a one-track gym leader, because you see him in the finals where, you know, he does singles as well, so it makes it really interesting, I think. So yeah, I like him a lot, and I guess I actually can't say that. So yeah, no, I really like him. So yeah, what else I do like is the Crown Tundra is getting some plushies with the Galarian, Moltres, Articuno and Zapdos, and also Calyrex as well. So I didn't actually expect to see these coming out soon, but they're actually coming out on October 23rd.
Yeah, the more I see about the Crown Tundra, the more I think these birds are going to play a role in what is looking like an increasingly sort of well-developed story. And I'm excited for that. Like, there was a Japanese trailer that released, I think, a couple of days ago, and there's some really good footage of the birds in that as well, and at angles relative to the player, that they're not just appearing in the overworld or, you know, out in the wild area. They're actually appearing, you know, close up to the trainer in cutscenes and stuff. So I'm looking forward to this. I think it's going to be a really, really good story.
I don't think people understand how much of a big deal it is that these legendary Pokemon have now got a regional form. It just blows my mind that legendary Pokemon have now got regional forms. It just blows everything up for me. Where everything's off the table. You know, anything can happen at this point, which is exciting in a way and scary in a way.
Anything's on the table?
No, off the table. Oh, on the table. Sorry, yeah, no, it doesn't make sense. No, you're right. Yeah, on the table.
Outside of the box, on the table.
Yes, exactly that. So. Yeah, it's. I just want to find out what's the reason, like why they. Because when we first got regional forms, we got explanations for each of them. Even though one of them was really ridiculous, but we won't even talk about Raichu. But yeah, we had a general understanding why, you know, Rattata is now a dark type, because it was forced to hide in the dark, and it sort of adapted to it. So I want to know the story behind the legendaries and why we've got regional forms for them. But wow, it's just. My mind is still blown from the fact that we're getting these. It's crazy.
Do you know how I really hopes to show up to explain that? Colress.
Oh.
I really hope he shows up.
Yeah, no,
because he just has such a thing for these birds, right?
We saw him back in Gen 7. And he was around investigating stuff. So,
Gen 5, Gen 7, he's shown up a few times.
Yeah, no, that would be pretty cool.
Around.
I do like returning characters being involved in the story. Maybe Annabelle will be there on some secret police mission or some stuff. Who knows?
Oh, Looker. Yeah, let's get Looker back.
The only other thing to say is actually, I don't have an image for this because there isn't an image out yet, but the Pokemon anime has had so many great soundtracks over the past few years, and suffice to say, we haven't had any CDs for them for 10 years, and I'm not sure why.
We should clarify that by soundtracks, you don't mean theme songs. You mean actual overtunes and soundtracks to the actual. It's not it's not theme songs, right?
No, it's soundtracks that are used in the episodes itself. So, you know, to convey sort of like feelings,
emotions.
That's the one.
Mood.
Yeah, it's surprising that we haven't had one for 10 years. 10 years it's been. And like, I'm a bit salty because if you remember XYZ, they had one of the best sort of orchestral themes of the XY Legendary theme, and it was used for some of the most epic moments, like Serena's sort of final. What do they call it? Her contest, but it was not called contest then. Was it performances or
performance? Yeah,
performance. Yeah, her final performance. They used that for that, and yeah, we never got a CD for it. So actually, we are getting a CD finally after 10 years. It's up for pre-order now. I've pre-ordered it. If you want to know more about the composer, he's Yuki Hayashi, who's done a lot of soundtracks. One that you might know him from is Haikyuu, for example. So yeah, a brilliant composer. Also done My Hero Academia as well. And he's delivered in the Pokemon anime. I mean, just yesterday, Friday, I was watching the anime, and they actually released another new soundtrack from him. It's honestly, he's incredible. So I can't wait for the CD to arrive. So yeah, you can pre-order it from places like Play Asia, for example, or CD Japan, which I used. So yeah, that's it for merch news, unless you got anything.
None of those plushies look cuddly.
I think they're there for guarding areas and whatnot.
Nice, okay, so they can guard the other plushies.
Maybe Articuno you could cuddle, I guess.
The wings could wrap around, I guess.
Yeah. But that's
Zapdos wants nothing to do with you, I'm just putting it out there.
It's got some thorns on its wings, or I don't know. I tried to say something smart there, it just didn't work out.
There you go.
It's time for the Pokemon music video. Hey, music video. Hey. That's I didn't have a segment name for it, so I stuck with that. A couple of weeks ago, we got a Pokemon music video.
Do you spend time thinking of these before the episode? Or you
no,
just do
that was improvised.
I don't know which is worse.
Well, the TCG is easy as 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's one I did think about. But this one, no.
Okay. All right.
Otherwise, I would have come up with something better. But anyway, 2 weeks ago, we got a Pokemon music video. And this was performed by Bump of Chicken, who are kind of a big deal in Japan. They've done other music for animes like March Comes in Like a Lion and one of the One Piece movies. So, you know, they're well known in the anime sphere as well. A few facts about this music video. It was directed by someone called Rei Matsumoto, who is actually quite famous for Kekai Sensen or Blood Blockade Battlefront. Try saying that 3 times. That's where she's most well known for. The animation is done by Studio Bones, who you may know them from, again, Kekai Sensen or My Hero Academia, Bungo Stray Dogs, or my favorite, Mob Psycho 100. And Yutaka Nakamura is there doing the keyframes of animation. So yeah, they had some big names coming for this music video, and boy did it show. Because there was a minefield of references, and the animation for some of the things that we see on screen, which we'll go through. Amazing. But what did you think about this music video?
It's a music video that really pays tribute to long-term fans of the Pokemon series. Like the number of Easter eggs and just little subtle references are you know, I couldn't count them. I couldn't even spot them all, to be honest. And I thought the animation the animation style was fantastic. It's a really good music video.
Incredible.
And even for those people who didn't understand the words, like myself, I had no clue what was being said.
They had subtitles on the Crown Tundra stream, and I don't know if they've got it on YouTube as well, but there were subtitles.
I think they do have it on YouTube now, but it was really, really well done. And if you haven't seen it, well worth going to watch.
Yeah, I think in terms of references, I'll start with this one, which someone on Reddit pointed out. His name was Godpouring, who pointed this out. But in Pokemon Red, Blue, and I guess the Fire Red and Leaf Green, you see the character saying, looking at the TV and saying, "There's a movie on TV. 4 boys are walking on the railroad tracks. I better go too." And in the music video, they reference that as well. So like, even though it's one of the references is like in the sort of music video.
Honestly, because that's the start of the video, I thought it was just going to be a normal music video for a Pokemon related song, because I just couldn't work out the reference. Really subtle, really well done.
And I guess to start off with, I gift a few things. I didn't gift everything, so you're not going to see like a definitive breakdown of it. But here's the first one. You've got the Alolan characters on screen, and you've got Nebby coming out of a bag. How cool is that?
Yeah, it's a really cool little anime shout out.
Yeah, I really liked.
Not anime, video game shout out.
yeah, I really liked seeing all these Sun and Moon characters. You got the symbols of the Sun and Moon as well behind them as well.
Yeah.
So really, really cool. The next one is Serena versus Mewtwo. And can you guess what that's a reference to?
Yeah, this is probably one of my favorites, which is when Mewtwo shows up at the end of Gen 6, right?
Yeah, exactly. Which it took me a second to realize, but yeah, I completely forgot that he actually turns up in Gen 6 at the end.
Speaking of epic soundtracks, the battle music for Mewtwo in Gen 6 is probably one of my favorite legendary battle soundtracks of all time.
We'll have to go back and listen to legendary soundtracks and make a ranking of them. Actually,
yeah,
that sounds a good idea. The next one. Who are these? I'm
going to let you stall for a second while it loads on my screen.
Okay, yeah, sorry. So, on screen we see N, and we see the Gen 5 protagonist, both female and male. Female, we don't see that clearly, but male we see clearly. But, do you know what this relates to?
To be honest, you're still on Serena for me, so
I'll let you talk about. Okay, so this relates to the heroes of truth and ideals, which is the big theme of Gen 5, you know, and with nice. Reshiram and then the Gen 5 protagonist with Zekrom. So really, really cool animation here too. It kind of zooms into the eye, which makes you well, how do I explain this?
You're trying to put a pun between ideals and eye.
Well,
like ideal.
Well, to that point, it's showing you their different perspectives. You see, so one person's perspective is, you know, they're focused on the truth. The other person's perspective is that following ideals is better. So yeah, I guess that's what I was going with it.
Because they're looking at each other.
Yeah, indeed. So yeah, very, very, very cool and great animation again. The next one we've got Blue, and I love this Blue because he looks very cocky, which suits him to a T.
This is easily one of my favorite moments, and the soundtrack that picks up at that point is really cool too.
Yeah, and he's got his team from the first game's Generation 1 team. You know,
yeah, so Generation, I think it's Gen 1 if you pick Squirtle.
Yeah, that's correct. It's just really cool, really, really cool. And I kind of like it. If anyone's seen JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, it sort of looks like these are his stands behind him. So yeah, no, very, very cool animation. But the next one is my favorite, hands down. And it's the Battle of Mount Silver between Red and Gold, or Ethan if you want to have that. But you just see like Blastoise there with a Tyranitar blocking it with a Stone Edge, and then Ampharos comes out of nowhere to attack. One of the most famous moments in Pokemon lore, both across the manga and, well, I guess it's not even in the manga, but still, Red on Mount Silver is probably as iconic as Pokemon gets. And I think Red in general is probably the most famous trainer of all. Really, I mean, even in Pokemon Masters, you see characters be like, this guy's a legend, you know.
Apart from Ash.
Well, yeah, well, of course, if we're talking about anime, but in terms of game lore, then yeah, Red.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, no, very, very cool. I love how they animated, you know, the battle. Just, I can't stop watching it. I can't stop watching it. It's just so good. Just so good. The next reference we get is our champions across games. And I really like how they've got Steven, but from Oras Steven rather than normal Ruby and Sapphire Steven, because he's using Mega Evolution.
Yeah, all the champions.
Unfortunately, Iris and Adler are only shown giving each other high fives off screen.
Well, because they swap over, right? In the same way that Steven and Wallace do in Gen 3, they swap over.
Indeed, they do. They do.
Right. And actually, Castlewings makes a really good point in the chat. The team that Blue has behind him actually might be his Viridian City gym team.
And do you know why he's probably right? It's because there's a statue behind him as well.
You're right. The statues.
Yeah, you see them in gyms all the time.
That's a good point.
Because I was debating whether or not this was in Indigo League Plateau Blue, or was it Viridian City Gym Blue? So it could be either or.
I thought I saw a Venusaur. That's why I thought it was Blue if you pick Squirtle. But you could be very right actually.
Yeah. So there's the champions. The next bit, Galar Gym Leaders. Oh, I love this bit that Galar's finally getting some love, because not enough time has elapsed, I guess, for the Pokemon Company to be promoting it across, you know, their sort of mobile games and whatnot. But Yeah, it was nice seeing these gym leaders. You get to see Alistair and B, and obviously Gordy and Melanie as well together, which made sense because they're sort of exclusive depending on the game you choose.
Is it not pronounced Geordie?
Geordie. Why are you, man? Sorry. But yeah, very, very cool. Very, very cool. The next thing is we get to see our rivals in the games. So we've got Bede, Marnie, Hop, and you get to see Hop's team as well. And he's sort of pumping himself up by slapping his cheeks and saying, come on, we got to go and do this. Because if you remember, during the main game, he gets to a point where he gets into a rut, and he's not exactly his usual, positive self, and he really takes it hard and goes off to train to become a better trainer, which is really cool. Nice little nod there.
I liked it. No, I like that they went through like all the characters from Gen 8, because I agree with you. Gen 8 hasn't had enough love in the wider Pokemon world yet, so it was cool.
Yeah, and I guess because most people associate Gen 8 with all the controversy that came around it, which I totally agree with. There's a lot of things not right with that game, but there's a lot to love about that game too. At the same time, and last one, we get to see our boy Leon, the champion, with his team battling against the protagonists, which is really, really cool.
Yeah, G-Max Cinderace.
Yeah, and the massive fireball. Oof. I haven't used G-Max Cinderace yet, which actually is really disappointing.
Well, you can't use it in competitive anyway, so...
Can't you? Yeah.
It's banned. Cinderace is straight up banned.
Why? Oh, of course.
Well, do you know what? It's not going to be banned in Season 7.
Yeah.
So you can use it again soon, but you can't use it right now.
It's because of Libero, isn't it?
Yeah, Libero made it too overpowered.
Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, that's it for the music video sort of roundup, catch up, however you're going to call it.
Yeah, it's great. Go watch it. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's really, for Pokemon fans, it's really, really cool.
And that'll lead us on to our next segment, where the Helioptile is Pokemon Sleep.
All right, so I wanted to pick up from our adventure from last week. So 2 weeks ago, I said to you guys that I would go check out Professor Fennel and I would speak to her about the Dream World, and I'd see if I can get access to the Dream World. And last week, it transpired that for whatever reason, the Pokemon Company shut down the Dream World, and we were at a bit of a loss for what to do. We tried getting into the Dream World, and we tried, trying to figure out our way in there. And poor Professor Fennel had her research shut down. And so what I think has been happening, and what I've been trying to work on in the last week, is how we can crowdfund Professor Fennel's research. So I'm officially announcing right now the Kickstarter campaign backed by the PokeRamble podcast for restarting Professor Fennel's work on the Dream World.
And where can people donate their Poké-dollars to?
You can head to kickstarter.com/PokeRamble Podcast /this is not a scam, and you can donate as much money as you can to help us kickstart Professor Fennel's work on the Dream World, which in turn will help us get into the Dream World, which will then let us work out where Pokemon Sleep is. So it's a really convoluted way of trying to work out where Pokemon Sleep is.
Yeah.
But rather than crowdfund Pokemon Sleep itself, crowdfund this, because that way we get the Dream World back as well.
Alternatively, instead of giving us money,
Kickstarter.com /the PokeRamble Podcast /this is not a scam.
You can also just at Pokemon and ask them where Pokemon Sleep is, and we'll accept that as payment too. So yeah, just ask the Pokemon Company where Pokemon Sleep is, for the love of God.
Can you imagine if we actually got a donation?
We haven't even got the webpage. Unless you've done something behind my back, so I'm going to move on before it gets into murky territory. This is the Sword and Shield, or I guess Pokemon Roundup, for the podcast form news. Is there anything you want to tell the people? Anything about Pikachus?
Yeah, there's some good news to round up. So the first thing is that Pikachu is not just making appearances in Pokemon Go at the moment. You can also get Ash Hat Pikachu in Sword and Shield. So there are, I think, 7 codes coming out in total, the first 4 of which are now live at the moment. And you can go into Sword and Shield, and via the mystery gift option, you can get Ash's original cap, and I'm just checking the code now, which is, it's not I Choose You, it's Pikachu Get for the first one. If you want to get the next one, which is Johto, it's I Choose You. For the third one, it's Pika Advanced. And the fourth one, which came out a couple of days ago, which is now available, is, this is where I'm trying to scroll quickly, is Volt Tackle Pika. So all of those Pikachus come with the Ash's hat from that particular generation, and the moveset that Pikachu would have corresponding to its time at that point in the anime. So Volt Tackle, Iron Tail, Quick Attack, all those different varieties are all out there. And you can pick up those Pikachus for free right now in Sword and Shield.
Yeah, just a reminder, some of those letters will have to be replaced with numbers.
Yeah, so standard mystery gift syntax, I is always a 1, and I think...
Zero is...
zero
is... Yeah.
Yeah, correct.
So yeah, make sure you pick up your Pikachus, and you can pick up multiple if you've got different profiles on your Switch. So yeah,
and the only downside is unfortunately they don't come with their Z moves this time, and they haven't compensated for it in any way. So unlike having in the old games where they actually had some competitive viability thanks to a really overpowered Z move, this time they're just for funsies.
It just means I can keep my other Pikachus in those games.
Are they G-Max capable?
No, they're Dynamax capable.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah.
Because if they were G-Max capable, then they'd actually be genuinely viable.
They're viable in my eyes. True. What else is viable in my eyes is the next segment.
Just before we move on, a bit more news for the news roundup. There's also the October tournament has been announced, which is the Battle of Legends. So prepping for Season 7, where legendary Pokemon are now going to be legal again in VGC.
Is CCS 123?
It is CCS 123. And I've talked about that before. If you ever want a rundown of how to build a competitive team, there are very, very old episodes of the PokeRamble podcast before our reboot where I talk about it. And maybe we should do another one again at some point, because that might be fun for people. But yeah, you can go and use any one legendary Pokemon or mythical Pokemon. So the first time actually that you can use the likes of Mew and Victini and sorry, not Victini's not eligible. Magearna and mythical Pokemon.
Yeah, I wonder why Victini's not eligible. Oh wait, Sunny Day, Flare Blitz.
It's actually not legal because it doesn't exist in Sword and Shield. Just putting it out there.
Okay, fair enough. No, that makes sense.
And did you mean V-Create rather than
V-Create? Sorry, yeah.
Okay. No, it just doesn't exist in Sword and Shield, which is far worse. But it is the first time that you can use a Meltan or a Melmetal in VGC, so look forward to that.
Oh god, Trick Room.
You can pick up a Melmetal and go to town with double Iron Bash if you want.
Yeah, that's another Pokemon that's ridiculously too strong, especially under V-Create under Trick Room. God, I'm losing it. Bring
it back.
What I'm not losing is the next segment.
One half this time.
It's time for Unknown Fact of the Week. What you got for me?
Yeah, so actually quite a neat fact for this week, which is that it's possible to convince the game that you are a member of Team Aqua or Team Magma in Pokemon Emerald.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so if you head to the Oceanic Museum, which is in, I'm going to get this wrong, Slateport City. So this is very early in the game, and you try and enter the museum. If you have less than 50 Pokédollars in your possession at that time, you actually can't afford the entrance fee to get into the museum. But because Team Aqua and or Magma are storming the museum at that point, the receptionist thinks you're part of the team, acknowledges the fact that, you must be part of Team Aqua or Team Magma, and lets you in free of charge.
That is so cool. Wow.
Yeah. And I guess not many people know it because why would you have less than 50 Pokédollars at that point? But if you're like me and you just buy Pokeballs galore and then discover that you can buy items for your secret base in the market, you probably have no money at that point. So you can straight up get into the museum for free if you pretend to be a member of Team Aqua or Team Magma.
I think the more shocking point of that is you've actually spent money.
It's true. I'll spend Pokédollars on stuff where it's economically viable.
Oh dear, that's actually probably my favorite unknown fact of the week. That is brilliant.
It's it's a cool little one that not many people. It's not even a hack. It's not a glitch. It's programmed into the game. It's just that not many people find out about it because they just don't have that little money on them.
It's, as the youth say, totally legitimate.
It is. It is totally legitimate.
Oh, and what better way to end the podcast episode on than that one line there? I've been Kumail. You can find me at twitch.tv/KumailH. You can find me at simplysassyvids.com, or you can find me on Twitter at, again, KumailH. I've been joined by Amit. Amit, plug away, please.
Yeah, you can find us on Twitch every Sunday evening where we record the podcast live, and you can come and join us in the chat. Thank you, everyone who was joining us today. Nice to see some of you guys joining us, and hopefully fun for you guys to hear us record live. But if you want to be part of that experience, twitch.tv/KumailH, that's KUMAILH, every Sunday evening. It is normally 7:30 p.m. BST, which is British summertime. Very soon, we will be moving to 7:30 p.m. Universal Central Time, or GMT, as daylight saving time ends in the UK. So look forward to that in a couple of weeks. But right now, for the next week, 7:30 p.m. BST, we hope to see you join us live. And if you can't join us live, check us out on YouTube, search the PokeRamble Podcast, or all of your good podcast outlets like Spotify. Again, search for the PokeRamble Podcast. And always feel free to drop us an email or a message, either in the comments on YouTube, or you can email us at pokeramblepod@gmail.com.
We're getting more sleep in a few weeks.
Tell you what, we're not getting more sleep. That's Pokemon Sleep.
Oh, on that note.
I can't believe you missed that. The opportunity was right there in front of you.
Take care, people.
That's the closest we're getting to Pokemon Sleep, guys.